Obito and Madara are the two most prominent antagonists during the Naruto war arc. For that reason, many people speculate about who would have won a fight between the two, Madara in the Edo Tensei version or Obito with his white mask. Let's see who would have won, but before that, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and ring the notification bell. So the very first thing anyone says whenever Obito is in a fight is, "Oh, how is he even gonna be touched? How are they gonna bypass Kamui?" And there are ways to bypass Kamui, of course. Minato showed that's very possible. Kakashi then showed that's possible as well. And yes, they had very good counters for Kamui, but Madara is a very complete shinobi. He has even more experience than both Kakashi and Minato combined, because if you remember correctly, he was about 100 years old when he died, so he would probably come up with something that can counter Obito. In this fight, Obito's win condition would probably be to suck Madara into the Kamui dimension or maybe try to yank Madara's soul with the Rinnegan, while Madara's win condition would be to kill Obito however he can. After all, he has several attacks that, if landed, would kill Obito instantly. First, let's talk about both characters' speeds. Madara was able to react to a KCM2 Blitz attempt very casually with his big fan, while Obito was also able to react to that Naruto and make himself intangible so that he wouldn't be able to get hit. Probably safe to assume that both characters are pretty much relative in terms of speed, which means that nobody's gonna be, speed blitzing anyone here. Obito has 6 tail beasts at his disposal during this fight that he can control with his Rinnegan, but as we see in the entire series, tail beasts are kind of irrelevant against fighters like Madara or Hashirama. Hashirama was taking care of all tail beasts in his prime, and Madara was very much relative to Hashirama and Hashirama's prime as well. And yes, Edo Madara is weaker than the alive version, as stated by Hashirama himself. However, this Edo Madara has a Rinnegan, which alive Madara didn't have in the past. Madara's perfect Susanoo would be more than enough to fight against the 6 tail beasts if Naruto's half Kurama was able to do so as well. So Obito would have to try and touch Madara to suck him into Kamui or try to yank his soul, which would probably not work because Naruto was able to resist Nagato trying to yank his soul, and that Edo Nagato was much more powerful than KCM1 Naruto. So if Naruto was able to resist him being weaker, Madara, who is stronger than Obito, would definitely resist the pull of the Rinnegan soul as well. So the only option would be to try and suck Madara into the Kamui dimension. And there's a big problem when it comes to that, because Obito has to turn tangible whenever he is sucking someone into the Kamui dimension. And this is a perfect chance for Madara to counterattack. Now, Obito would not be able to suck Madara in, simply because Madara can activate the Susanoo instantly. And we know that whenever the Susanoo is activated, whoever is inside the Susanoo range that's not the actual Susanoo user will get bamfed out of it. We saw that happening in the Sasuke versus Danzo fight. When Danzo was about to hit Sasuke bamfed the Susanoo and Danzo was just blown away. The same thing would happen here. When Obito tries to touch Madara, he would use his Susanoo and Obito would be just knocked out of there because he has to be tangible whenever he's touching someone. Madara also has other options to counter Obito trying to touch him, such as Shinra Tensei, because he has the Rinnegan. And if I have to say if one of these two fighters is faster than the other, I would bet my money on Madara. Thing is, he would definitely be able to react to Obito coming from him, and I don't see Obito catching him off guard somehow. And even so, if Obito manages to touch Madara catching him off guard, Minato was able to teleport away from the Kamui suck, so Madara would be able to do the same, bamfing the Susanoo. It's essentially the same tactic, but with a different jutsu. You activate your instantaneous release jutsu and escape the Kamui pull. And when Madara is fighting Obito, he can also use his wood clone so that they can attack Obito whenever Obito materializes himself to try to suck in the original. So Madara would have several other Madaras attacking Obito whenever he is not tangible. Whenever he is tangible, which isn't a very good thing, especially because Madara can create like 25 of those with Susanoo's at least, which means that the wood clones are pretty damn powerful by themselves. Also, Madara has a very nasty ability that's very much overlooked by most people, the pollen release. That's not really something Obito can counter just by becoming intangible, because if you breathe that thing, and I assume Obito has to breathe when he is intangible too, you're gonna go unconscious, just like the 5 Kage did. That pollen release jutsu is actually pretty damn powerful, man. I don't know why people don't talk more about that. Like, the only thing Obito would do in this situation would be to get out of range, which he could probably do. However, if he tries to do so by teleporting with Kamui, he has to become tangible, and when Obito has to teleport himself with Kamui, that's a much slower teleportation, meaning that Madara could just come in and destroy him with a jutsu, like a fire style or the Susanoo, or just taijutsu him to death. I can see Obito trying to use the 6 steel beasts he has at his disposal, Madara using the perfect Susanoo and easily countering them, and then Madara uses the pollen jutsu, forcing Obito to either teleport or get unconscious, and while he does so, Madara comes in and attacks with his wood clones. I don't really see a way of Obito winning this thing here. Even if Obito manages to touch Madara, making his Kamui suction faster, it's not really going to work because Madara can use the Susanoo or Shinra Tensei to just bamf him out. And in the end of the day, Obito is very much a one-trick pony. The only thing he has going for him, whenever you don't count the tail beasts, which we've already established wouldn't be very effective, is Kamui, both for defense and offense. And as Madara would be able to counter both the Kamui defenses and the attack capability of Kamui, then I don't see much of a chance for Obito here. A lot of people claim that Obito and Madara are equals. I don't know if that's a data book thing, one of those stupid statements like Temari solos the entire universe or something like that, but it's very clear that Madara is the superior fighter here. And there's another advantage. Madara has infinite chakra in his Edo Tensei form, while Obito, even though he has a very decent chakra reserve, he doesn't have infinite chakra, so he will run out eventually, while Madara is gonna be fine. And if we're talking about alive versions, Madara was much faster when he was alive, so he would be able to catch Obito more easily whenever Obito has to become tangible to attack him. Also, Madara back then had much more chakra than Obito ever had. Just look at the Madara versus Hashirama fight and the levels of destruction and chakra and abilities they're using there, it's insane. And obviously, when we talk about any Obito version below the Rinnegan Obito in the war arc, like the Orange Mask Obito, he has absolutely no chance here. The Rinnegan provides such a big buff to him in the war-wise and reaction time-wise as well, that is not even funny, man. Madara would wipe the floor with Orange Mask Obito any day of the week. And even if for whatever reason Obito manages to suck Madara into the Kamui dimension, what would he do then? Because Madara wouldn't die, he would just stay there in the Kamui dimension, but the Edo Tensei bodies, they don't die, they don't need food, they need water. Madara would just chill there, and Obito would not be able to use Kamui again, because otherwise Madara would just attack Obito from within the Kamui dimension, just like Akashi did during the war arc. And this gets even worse if Obito sucks the original Madara in, but still there are Madara clones in the real world. Then the Madara clones could try and attack Obito while the original Madara could stay in the Kamui dimension attacking Obito from inside, which would force Obito to expel Madara from the Kamui dimension instantly or he would die. So now Obito can't win this fight. Even if you come with the most elaborate angles, it's not a fight Obito can win. Madara is just built different. He is in another tier of strength in the Narutoverse, completely different than Obito's. Comment down below what you think about this matchup, subscribe to this channel, watch this video right here for another entertaining fight, and like this video too. Thank you so much for watching.